In this video, we will be talking about blood pressure homeostasis and why it's so important for your body. The cardiovascular system consists of your heart, blood vessels, and about 5 liters of blood that are responsible for transporting oxygen, nutrients, hormones, and much more. In this video, we will be focusing on how the cardiovascular system carries out different functions to regulate blood pressure. So, what exactly is blood pressure? Blood pressure is a measure of how hard the blood pushes against the walls of your arteries as it travels through your body. There are 3 main factors that affect blood pressure. The first one is cardiac output, which is the amount of blood pumped per minute by each ventricle, and can be altered by changing stroke volume or heart rate. The next one is total peripheral resistance, which is the resistance to blood flow level. Resistance is altered by the diameter and length of the blood vessels. The last one is blood volume. Having good blood pressure is an important part of keeping your body healthy. If blood pressure drops too low, organs will not receive adequate amounts of blood pressure, which can cause dizziness, fainting, nausea, and fatigue. If blood pressure is too high, it can cause damage to your heart, brain, arteries, and kidneys. As you can see, it is very important for your body to regulate your blood pressure. This is where homeostasis comes into play. Homeostasis is a process in which blood pressure levels are regulated by the body to keep them at a constant or equilibrium. When receptors in your heart detect a change in blood pressure, they send a signal to your brain, which determines how to react to the change. The brain then sends a signal to the effector to carry out the change and bring your blood pressure back to normal. Now let's take a deeper look at the process of homeostasis in your body. Blood pressure can be affected by many factors such as a change in environment or activity. For example, running will cause your blood pressure to raise for a short amount of time. Baroreceptors, located within the aorta or the carotid sinus of your heart, are sensory neurons that are stimulated by blood pressure levels. An increase in blood pressure triggers increased action potential sent to your brain. Meanwhile, a decrease in blood pressure triggers a decrease of action potential sent to the cardiovascular center in your brain. The cardiovascular center, which is located in the medulla oblongata of the brain cell, is responsible for managing cardiac output and peripheral resistance. The cardiovascular center responds to these signals by initiating mechanisms that increase or decrease your blood pressure. We are going to start by looking at how your body decreases your blood pressure to get it back to normal. We first see a decrease of sympathetic input and an increase in parasympathetic input to the heart. By doing so, we decrease the heart rate and stroke volume. The decrease of heart rate and stroke volume then causes a decrease in cardiac output and in general blood pressure. The cardiovascular center of the medulla decreases sympathetic input to the blood vessels. This causes vasodilation, which decreases total peripheral resistance and decreases blood pressure. The liver also plays an important role in blood pressure regulation. ANP, a hormone secreted in the atria of the heart, lowers blood pressure by causing vasodilation and by stimulating the kidneys to excrete more water and sodium. This in turn reduces blood volume and lowers blood pressure. The opposite happens when the baroreceptor detects a drop in blood pressure. The body will first cause an increase in sympathetic nerve activity to the SA node, causing it to fire more frequently to increase heart rate. The heart muscle is also stimulated to pump with more force and increase the stroke volume. When heart rate and stroke volume increase, we then see an increase in cardiac output, which causes an increased blood pressure to bring your blood pressure back to normal. Next, the cardiovascular center causes an increased sympathetic input to the blood vessels, which stimulates the smooth muscle to contract, causing vasoconstriction, which increases total peripheral resistance and increases blood pressure. Finally, ADH, a hormone produced by the hypothalamus and released by the posterior pituitary, raises blood pressure by stimulating the kidneys to retain H2O, which causes an increase of blood volume.
Created using Powtoon.